Good morning and welcome to the Friday Financial Review. I'm Paul Griffiths. I'm a financial planner for Europe. So thank you very much for all my viewers so far for continuing to support me. A number of questions and a number of topics that keeps cropping up again and again, especially from a number of my viewers, is the subject of, Paul, I'm in Spain, I have pensions in the UK, what should I be doing with them? I keep hearing different stories about Spanish taxation and how they are taxed on British pensions. What can I do to potentially reduce the effective rate of tax on my pension income? So today we're going to discuss those topics. Now, as a resident of Spain, pensions, whether it's from the UK or other countries around the world, are certainly taxable here in Spain. The difficulty is that in Spain there is no one set rule for all pensions. It very much depends on the pensions you have. Certainly, if you have a civil service pension, then they are not taxed in the UK. But many of us didn't work for the civil service. Many of us would have worked for various corporations, self-employed, and so on and so forth. So we would have built up defined contribution schemes, defined benefit schemes, as well as making contributions to a private pension scheme. For the purpose of today's video, we are going to simplify the view and just focus on your defined contributions, defined benefits as a general pension pot. And we're going to take a look at, now that you're a resident of Spain, what alternatives one might wish to look at. So first and foremost, when you arrive in Spain, or even prior to arriving in Spain, you should be seeking advice from a European-based regulated advisor to really understand what to be looking out for, not just on pensions, but everything else. When it comes to pensions then, the first thing that we all like to think about is, now that I've retired, can I take my 25% pension commencement lump sum? In the UK, a lot of people know this as the so-called tax-free lump sum. And if I take it, will I get taxed in Spain? Really, if you can help it, you really want to be taking your tax-free lump sum before you become a resident of Spain. This is because, as a resident of Spain, a tax-free lump sum from a UK pension, unfortunately, is not tax-free. But all is not lost. And this really comes onto the income element of your pension. Again, all is not lost. So what we tend to look at here for a large number of our clients, but let me make this clear, not all clients in Spain should be transferring their pension. It should only be looked at on an individual case-by-case basis. The great thing about Spain is that they do have a couple of quirky, wonderful pension taxation rules. One is taxation on what we call lifetime annuities, and the other one is called the temporary annuity. We are going to take a look at this temporary annuity and what it means. But let's understand what the word annuity actually is. An annuity, by definition, is you using a pot of money to buy an income for life. A lot of you will be familiar with this because a lot of the older style UK pensions would typically force you to buy an annuity. Certainly the rules changed a few years back where no longer is required for you to buy an annuity. But that is what an annuity is. You use a sum of money to buy an income for life. Unfortunately, over the last 10 years, with low interest rates, annuity rates themselves aren't really any good for most of us. Now, you heard me use the term temporary annuity. Well, a temporary annuity is basically just that. You choose a term, you use an amount of money, and that will pay you an income for a set period of time, whether that's 5 years, 10 years, so on. Now, why is that important, or why is that useful as a resident of Spain? Well, your British pensions, or for those not from Britain, pensions from other locations, could be transferred or consolidated, if you have a number of pensions, into a more suitable, flexible pension scheme, where within that pension scheme, one can partially or entirely purchase a temporary annuity. In essence, all you're doing, using the right advisor and the right provider, is ring-fencing your pension pot for the purpose of a temporary annuity. Give an example. Let's assume you have various pensions in the UK, 3 pensions, and altogether they're valued £500,000. You can transfer, consolidate all 3 into an alternative pension plan. So you now have 1 pension worth £500,000. And you decide, right, over the next 5 years, I want an income of £40,000 a year. So the temporary annuity provider would just do a simple calculation. Let's ring fence an amount of money that will give you £40,000 a year. Now, we'll keep the math simple. Let's just say £200,000 in this case. 40,000 times 5 years is £200,000. So out of your £500,000 pension, we would ring fence £200,000, and the idea being is that out of that £200,000, it pays an annual temporary annuity of £40,000 a year over the next 5 years. So, hopefully you're following me so far. Now, the temporary annuity itself under Spanish taxation rules is extremely favourable. In actual fact, on a 5-year temporary annuity, only 12% of the income paid is deemed to be taxable income, which means the remaining 88% is deemed to be tax-free. So a working example is on the £40,000 annuity, what you'll have is basically £4,800 of that income that's paid out is deemed to be taxable income. And that £4,800 in this example is taxed at a low rate of 19%. So it's an extremely, extremely good way of actually reducing one's effective tax. In essence, here you have a tax totaling just over £900 on an income of £40,000 a year. Therefore, the effective rate of tax is below 2%. So it's a great way to actually pay out a designated income for a period of time. But of course, you might be asking yourself, well, what actually happens to that £200,000 that is just being ring-fenced. Well, the great thing about a temporary annuity is that £200,000 through your advisor can, of course, just be left as cash to pay out that income. Or better yet, if it's over a 5-year period, you may as well have the money itself invested. So even though it's ring-fenced, it can still be invested. So at the end of 5 years, we'd all like to think over a 5-year period, market will go up. So therefore, after a 5-year period, having paid out that income, you may very well find that there's still a little bit left. And whatever's left is thrown back into the main pot that's been sitting on the sidelines, growing and invested over that period of time as well. So yes, the idea of a temporary annuity, which is something that's quite unique to Spain, is a great way to reduce one's effective rate of tax on one's pension. So to summarize, if you're coming to Spain or if you are already here, you have various pensions in the UK still, it is worth considering consolidating those pensions and transferring them to a suitable alternative pension scheme, for the purpose that you can then use the temporary annuity rules of Spain to pay you an income over a period of time, and that income will have only a very, very small amount that is deemed to be the taxable income. And the example used today is a 5-year temporary annuity where only 12% of the annual income paid is deemed to be the taxable income. The tax rates used in Spain on this taxable income is their investment income tax, which starts at 19%, goes up to 21, 23, and very, very top rate, 26, anything over £200,000. Sorry, €200,000. So there you have it, ladies and gents. This is one key advantage of actually transferring one's pension to a suitable scheme. There are a whole host of other benefits, of course, when it comes to pension transfers, and myself, the team here, will be able to provide you with all the right guidance. Of course, if you have a financial advisor already, do speak to him or her. If you don't have a financial advisor, a lot of you from the UK won't now, because a lot of the UK advising firms, they're no longer engaging in their clients outside of the UK. So if you don't have one, feel free to get in touch. So thank you for watching today's video. Please do share it to everybody that you feel would benefit from understanding and listening to this information. Continue to share my page, follow, subscribe. I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. So certainly want to grow my fan base, shall we say. But yes, it's a lovely Friday today. The sun is out. I'm here in the Marbella region of Spain. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you take care of yourself. Have a lovely Friday. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you all next week. Cheers.